Let's talk about market failure and economics. To understand market failure, we must first learn the concepts of economic surplus and efficiency. Economic surplus is the total benefits of a decision minus the total costs of that decision. The efficient outcome from any decision is the one that yields the largest possible economic surplus. It's basically just getting the most bang for your buck. As smart economists, this is what we want. So, what happens when things go wrong and you don't reach that efficient outcome? Well, that's where the concept of market failure comes into play. Market failure happens when the forces of supply and demand lead to an inefficient outcome. Essentially, it's when the quantity supplied is not equal to the quantity demanded and equilibrium is lost. Let's dive a little deeper to see what that can look like. There are 5 sources of market failure: market power, externalities, information problems, irrationality, and government regulations. Market power as a source of market failure is like when a particular market is not perfectly competitive. When one actor or firm holds the power to determine the prices of goods or services in a market, it can throw everything off balance. Externalities as a source of market failure can happen when the selling, buying, or production of a good or service has byproducts that affect parties outside of just the buyer or seller. Think secondhand smoke as an example. You may not be smoking a cigarette, but you will inhale secondhand smoke anyway when passing a smoker. Information problems as a source of market failure can occur when information is withheld or straight up lied about by buyers or sellers. Irrationality as a source of market failure can happen when actors make poor decisions, like buying a good until the cost exceeds the benefit, which is a violation of the rational rule. Finally, government regulation as a source of market failure can happen when, for example, a binding price floor or ceiling is implemented by the government, leading to shortages and surpluses. Let's now look at an example. I want you to use what we've learned about the 5 sources of market failure to try to determine what source is at play here. This article I found on CBC News discusses the state of the oil patch. As we all know, fossil fuels contribute significantly to pollution and climate change. In the article, fossil fuel industry representatives like Chevron CEO Mike Wirth express some reluctance to transition away from fossil fuels. Additionally, it's stated that with $1 billion, oil companies could meet the 2030 methane goal. Unfortunately, many companies claim they simply don't have the money in spite of huge profits. Based on the information we have, which source of market failure do you think this is? If you said externalities, you would be correct. The byproducts of pollution and climate change are factors that people worldwide must deal with, regardless of whether they take part in that market or not. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.